Along the western edge of the Indian subcontinent lies an arid desert land known as Kutch. Its population is sparse. Its climate is extreme. Most of the 1.25 million people live in hundreds of tiny villages that dot the landscape. The region forms a large part of the state of Gujarat as well as shares a very important border with Pakistan. Because of its remote location, Kutch has preserved the essence of a unique culture, one that propagates some of the most wonderful handicraft traditions in India. On January 26, 2001, the earth shook with a violent force. An earthquake with a magnitude of 7.9 on the Richter scale had destroyed cities and villages in the Kutch region. This natural shifting of the earth's tectonic plates took many in Gujarat by surprise, as the last major earthquake happened in 1956. The damage was extensive. The loss of life was high. The city of Kutch, with its high-rise modern structures, suffered large number of casualties. This army officer, involved in the search and rescue, describes the aftermath in one residential complex.
All those guys who were escaping from the stray cases, they came. So we are extracting the bodies. We have already taken out 25.
From the day one?
We land up on 29th.
But before that, there must be somebody who was rescued.
Nobody came. That's what the locals say. There's one body which...
For 3 days, there was no rescue at all.
Outside of the city, the daily routine of life in a village saved many lives. The quake hit at nearly 9 a.m., a time when most of the villagers were out of their homes, engaged in daily rituals, or on their way to nearby markets. Children were the exception. January 26th is the Republic Day. It is a day of ceremonial flag hoisting and patriotic songs. Many of the deaths and injuries to children came when the walls of schools collapsed onto them. An earthquake, as with any major calamity, strikes us with grief and a sense of how truly fragile life on planet Earth can be. However, out of such events, new relationships are created, new bonds are formed. Manav Sadhana, a voluntary organization based at Gandhi Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad, has for the last 8 years focused on working for the upliftment of poor and needy children in the slums in and around the city of 4 million. Inspired by Gandhian philosophy, Manav Sadhana is comprised of a young group of dedicated persons working in the areas of education, nutrition, alternatives to child labor, and medical aid. Children who may ordinarily work as boot polishers or tea boys are given the opportunity to earn and learn through preparing handmade greeting cards. They are instilled with basic values of cleanliness, honesty, and the importance of education.
झांझरीनी जोड़ी मार बेने नती तोड़ी मारा वेवाई लटकणिया लेता आवजो हो तम झूनी लाव्या साड़ी हवला जो वरनी माड़ी मारा वेवाई लटकणिया लेता आवजो हो
Manav Sadhana was in the process of realizing one dream when the earthquake hit. 14 children from the poorest communities had been cast and were training for a stage show which linked the lives of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. and spread the message of peace, truth, and non-violence. A 64-day tour of the United States had been arranged, and the team was set to leave a few months later, representing India with a powerful message. However, life set a different course for Manav Sadhana. The program was postponed, and the entire organization mobilized itself in earthquake relief activities. A series of trips were made to the Kutch region to get a first-hand look at the devastation and to begin networking with local, state, and international agencies. The team visited both the city of Kutch as well as surrounding villages. A team of architects traveling with Manav Sadhana closely examined the foundations of buildings and the structural cracks. One thing seemed surprisingly clear. Most of the modern concrete structures which collapsed was the result of poor quality of building material or technical flaws in construction, whereas traditional round village huts, known as bhungas, suffered very little, if any, damage. Located 65 kilometers north of Kutch, very near to India's border, is the small village of Ludiya, with a population of 1800. The village is scattered over a radius of 5 kilometers, with its inhabitants living in several various clusters. Two distinct communities live in Ludiya: the Hindu Harijan minority and the Muslim majority. The Harijan people are among lowest caste in India, yet in Ludiya they are born artisans. Local teak wood is masterfully handcrafted into the very ornate legs of a bed, the back of a chair, or the frame of a picture. Women are equally as talented. The colorful Kutchi style is woven into bedspreads, cushion covers, and ethnic costumes. A simple pillowcase can take as many as 14 days to complete. In addition to embroidery work, these women are skilled at interior design as well. This technique, known as mud work, adds a beautiful touch to the interiors of their traditional homes. Muslims represent the largest population not only in Ludiya but also in the entire region. While the women of this community involve themselves in handicraft work, it is the men who are engaged in animal husbandry and monsoon agriculture. Each morning, the herds of goats and buffaloes are led out into the surrounding fields in search of food. The animals are bred and sold to cities all across Gujarat. Milk is supplied to nearby markets. This region is well known for its particular breed of buffalo and ox. 2 kilometers from Ludiya is Khavda, the central marketplace for the surrounding 58 villages, including Ludiya. This narrow strip of land, bustling with activity, is the closest one would come to city life in this part of India. Networking played a vital role in Manav Sadhana's adoption of Ludiya. The Gujarat government classified Ludiya as a B category, meaning that a majority of its infrastructure had been damaged or completely destroyed. Before completing all government adoption procedures, Manav Sadhana made 3 visits to the village to conduct detailed surveys. In addition to collecting information such as house and property damage, details of family size, and a wish list from the villagers, Manav Sadhana held key meetings with the heads of both communities in the village. Long-term rehabilitation would only work if Manav Sadhana had the entire support of the community. Mohandas K. Gandhi, one of the leading figures of the 20th century, was of course the man who led India to overthrow the hand of colonialism through the practice of non-violence. To Gandhi, India's future depended greatly on the revival of its villages, in making each village self-sufficient. This dream of his was known as Gram Swaraj. Movements such as that of the spinning wheel were aimed at providing employment to village women, creating a sustainable income for them. The use of khadi dress, the construction of a mud hut, both of these involved using local materials as well as retaining the essence of a culture. For Manav Sadhana, Ludiya became their mission project, a project that aimed at creating a self-sufficient village, one that was economically viable, and one in which the local culture would be preserved. Back in Ahmedabad, meetings were held and a philosophy known as land to lab, lab to land was carried out. Ideas were taken from the villagers, analyzed and implemented in the village. On February 27th, a full-scale rehabilitation project was launched in Ludiya. A base camp was established and the team of social workers, engineers, construction workers and volunteers could begin rebuilding lives. The core team was beheaded by Manav Sadhana's founders Viren Joshi, Jayesh Patel and Anar Patel, with work in Ahmedabad coordinated by Vandana Agrawal. Housing became the first priority. In Ludiya, one will find two main home structures, Kutch and Pakka. Kutch homes are made from locally available materials such as mud, grass and animal dung. Pakka homes are made of brick, cement or stone. Pakka homes are stronger, more secure, but most importantly, they are seen as a status symbol. Bungas are round in shape with high conical roofs. The round design of the homes held it together during the violent shaking of the earth. Not even the high winds of cyclones are able to destroy the bunga. Climatically, the home offers coolness in the intense heat of summer and retains warmth during the cold of the winter months. This, combined with the use of local materials and local art, made the bunga the most practical housing solution for the region. Initially, this idea was not fully accepted by all of the villagers. This man explains his concerns for constructing a bunga.
અને પછી આમાંથી વળી બધી છે ને ઓલરેડી તીન વળી માંગી હતી કે 25-30 રૂપિયા કિલાનું તો ભૂંગું બનાવી ને તો એનું ખર્ચ તો થાય તો અને આ મકાનનું બનાવીને તમે થોડોક ફેર થાય છે પણ આ પક્કું મકાન હોય તો ઘણા વર્ષ ચાલે અને ભૂંગું 12 મહિના થવું તો એના બીજે વર્ષ બીજું બનાવવું પડે એ ખર્ચ હવે બધું એક થઈ ગયું પહેલાં મને આપણે દેશમાં હતો લકડા બાવરિયા હતા.
A material bank was set up with a constant supply of wood, grass, tiles and cement. Local labourers were employed. A team of skilled workers was brought in from around the state to assist in the masonry. Thousands of sun-dried bricks consisting of a mud and straw mixture were handmade. The program was unique in that it was a people's program. Manav Sadhana's aim was to have the people's participation at every step of the way to create a home rather than a house. Employment was generated for youths and carpenters through preparing doors and windows for homes and schools. Manav Sadhana would act only as a facilitator and not the implementer. In fact, families would each be given 2,000 rupees, that is $40, as payment for constructing their own homes. Together with material cost, each bunga cost nearly 18,000 rupees or $400. With a good team of 2-3 people, It takes only 3 days to construct the completed framework. First, the outline is drawn and the base is filled with cement and concrete. Mud bricks are picked up and delivered to the site. They are arranged in the circular pattern, bonded together with mud to a height of 7 feet. Both the interiors and exteriors are then given 7 layers of an animal dung and mud mixture, a process called lipan. A large otta or sitting area is created outside the doorway. Roofs are created with varying types of wood woven together very tightly. Once complete, the roof is covered with a kind of straw known as keep. Local cultural traditions emerge with the artwork of the home. Inside, mudwork designs are created on the walls, and on the outside, painting is done and colorful symbols are made with locally available mud. Finally, a family is able to move inside and begin life in their new home. A centerpiece of the housing program is the construction of a new cluster known as Gandhinugam, a model hamlet based on Gandhi's principle of Gram Swaraj. In the central village of Ludiya, there were a group of 18 Harijan families on the verge of migration. Due to the damage from the quake, a lack of sustainable income, and scarcity of water, it is easy to see why families like these would move from their ancestral lands. Ishubhai Patel, a true Gandhian and the president of Manav Sadhana, has spent his entire life working for the upliftment of the Harijans. With his constant support and motivation, Manav Sadhana arranged for a nearby land donated by a Muslim farmer to relocate the community. The land was divided into 18 plots and distributed to the families. Each plot would be provided material for the construction of 2 bungas, 1 chowki or storage facility, and a sanitation block. Desar Bijal is one of those 18 Harijan families building his home in Gandhi's Gam. He resides in this simple one-room house with his wife Bharma and their 5 children and a goat. Survival is made of odd labor jobs done by Desar, as he nor his wife possess the skills to create and sell the Kutchi handicrafts. Despite living this simple existence, his family spirit is remarkable. Mornings come early in Ludiya. Children are the last to wake up. Milk is taken from the goat and tea is prepared. The blankets used for the cool desert nights are folded and kept for the day. The family marches, oftentimes along with other families, through the dry, arid landscape to Gandhi's Gam, and work is begun. Desar's entire family is involved in this process, a true example of the people's participation. Their relationship with Manav Sadhana goes beyond just putting a roof over their head. Future training and education for this family can provide them with skills needed for generating income. Work is carried out on plot number 9 throughout the day at a slow and steady pace. There are lighter moments as seen here as Kheti, one of Desar's daughters, enjoys a kulfi, a locally made popsicle delivered to villages by a bicycle vendor. Evenings, the women and children pack up their pots and pans and walk back to Ludiya, while the men march off to Khavda to pick up vegetables and other supplies needed for the family. Education is another key to developing a sustainable village. In Ludiya, there is a 95% dropout rate among the children. They have no interest in school. To combat this, Manav Sadhana is constructing a series of schools and balwadis or kindergartens. The first school to be complete is located in the cluster of Mepai. Children from grades 1 to 4 will study here. Anandiben Patel, Minister of Education for Gujarat and long-time friend of Manav Sadhana, has given her constant support and guidance for this project. Schools are also being built for several other clusters in order to prevent children from walking long distances. Having a kindergarten in each of the clusters in Ludiya will carry out pre-primary education. Groups of children like these will sing songs and play educational games, instilling in them the desire to continue into the higher levels. With water comes life. For the past many years, Kutch has faced enormous droughts. The only rain, if it comes, falls during the monsoon season of June to September. In a good year, the average rainfall would rise to 10 inches. Nearby to Ludiya are the Black Mountains, and from these mountains, 3 dry bed rivers extend to the village. These rivers are shallow, and water collected in the mountains picks up speed and runs uncontrolled into the desert. Proper watershed management could help channelize this water for use throughout the year. With the help of the Gujarat Mineral Development Corporation, Manav Sadhana has completed 2 check dams over the Ludiya and Mepai rivers. Water collected from rains will fill up in this natural encasement and will be used to recharge wells in the area, as well as be diverted to 2 newly constructed ponds, ensuring the traditional method of water harvesting. After a good monsoon, these dams would support life in Ludiya, like this dam in the nearby Toga village. Light and power. These newly constructed power lines will bring light to Gandhi's Gam and other darkened clusters. They will help run this saw, which will in turn run a man's livelihood. Women form an integral part of a household, with cooking being a major activity. Manav Sadhana has improvised on the traditional cooking stove by introducing one that is smoke-free and made from local mud and dung. This way of cooking not only conserves fuel but also prevents eye irritation and lung disease, which commonly affect these women. This post box and this telephone connection will bridge contact with families in other parts of the region. There are 2021 cows and buffaloes and 405 goats on record in the village of Ludiya. Manav Sadhana has already begun a grass bank in which fodder is offered at a subsidized rate. Each month, those who own animals in the community will gather and purchase bales of hay. The bales are carried back to their respective homes by a variety of methods, some by the local chagro, the village taxi. Others are loaded onto the back of a camel cart and whisked away. Future supplies of grass will be stored in this newly constructed building. A selected committee of villagers will do the management of the bank. Tuberculosis and polio are 2 problems faced in Ludiya. Manav Sadhana has conducted 2 medical camps to assess and administer vaccinations for TB. Problems faced in the villages like Ludiya with lack of education is that patients are irregular with their medication and unable to afford it. This man suffers from throat cancer. He is 47 years of age. He has 4 children. Manav Sadhana sent him to the Cancer Research Center at the Civil Hospital in Ahmedabad. His diagnosis was terminal. After several weeks in the hospital, he was sent back to Ludiya with little hope. To everyone's surprise, once back in the village, he was recharged with new spirits as he was seen daily at Gandhi's Gam. For weeks, this man has been forced to sit in this position. The femur of his upper leg is fractured and an operation done in the city of Kutch is not healing him. He was sent to Ahmedabad for an orthopedic operation. Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism. Each of the world's major religions are represented with this symbol. It appears next to the doorway of Manav Sadhana's main Ludiya headquarters, representing an appreciation for all faiths of the world. This is especially significant in this part of the world. Historically, there have been sharp divisions between Hindus and Muslims, with one result being the creation of Pakistan. But in Ludiya, there exists a total communal harmony. Hindus and Muslims work side by side. There has never been a police case in Ludiya village. Religious teachings begin at an early age in the Muslim community, with all children attending spiritual classes. This girl is already learning how to recite prayers in Arabic. Mosques are scattered throughout Ludiya, with prayers being conducted on a daily basis. The Harijan community performs various pujas and ceremonies in small temples such as this. Manav Sadhana offered to repair damaged religious structures. However, each community has decided to collect funds on their own for repairs. Migration has been one of the key issues threatening to disrupt a delicate balance that lies in this border area. With lack of employment, many Hindus seek a better opportunity in the larger cities. To help prevent this, Manav Sadhana brought in the key Hindu spiritual leader of the Kutch region, Dada Meghrad, to urge these bands of people to remain in their villages and to spread the message. The village of Paya, 10 kilometers from Ludiya, is low-lying and floods each year during the monsoon. After the earthquake, they too were contemplating migrating to Bhuj or other cities. To stop this, Manav Sadhana relocated the group to high ground and distributed plots in a similar manner as Gandhi's Gam. Complete integration between the NGO Manav Sadhana and the people at Ludiya has been the key to making this project successful. From the beginning, the entire staff of Manav Sadhana has been based in this remote village. Meetings are held daily with leaders of the village and individuals as well. The team has faced many social dynamics that could have hindered the process. It wasn't easy, and building the trust of the community took several weeks. Relationships with locals were vital. Raisal Nama Samar, the leader of a nearby village, owns 4 tractors. A chance meeting with him in Khavda resulted in a full-time partnership. The hardships faced by the team of Manav Sadhana, laborers, skilled workers, and various other trusts has been tremendous. Rehabilitation work has been going on during India's hottest season, the months of April and May. Air currents sweeping across the nearby open desert kick up dust storms that can within seconds reduce visibility to zero. It is extremely difficult to coordinate with suppliers and communicate with donors when the office phone line is down 65% of the time. With light or without light, the project continued. Manav Sadhana's rehabilitation area grew to a radius of 10 kilometers, covering 2,300 people. A total of 432 homes, 2 check dams, 2 ponds, 6 schools, and a grass bank have been constructed with a total cost of 1.2 crores or $300,000. Manav Sadhana's approach has been holistic, pertaining to each aspect of reviving the village. The project has been completed in record time due to generous support from donors in the United States and India. Recently, a series of high-level Indian dignitaries, including the Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Home Minister Mr. L.K. Advani, and the ex-Defense Minister George Fernandes, visited Ludiya and shared their enthusiasm for the project. India is often referred to as a land of villages. As the world races forward and continues to modernize, Ludiya is a refreshing change. One can appreciate the sunrise and sunset. There are no billboards. There are no traffic jams. There is an inherent simplicity in life. Change is inevitable in Ludiya. Villagers will leave for better opportunities in cities. Tourists will drop in for handicraft work. Slowly, the people of Ludiya will be educated as to the world outside of theirs. We cannot prevent this, nor should we, in this natural evolution of life. What we need to do is strike a balance between the wisdom of our ancestors and modern ways of life. On April 5, 2001, former United States President Bill Clinton made a visit to Gandhi Ashram. He had a chance to meet with the Manav Sadhana team preparing for the Gandhi King tour of the US. Ludiya has been a growing and learning experience for Manav Sadhana. The bonds developed in this village will be long-lasting. Manav Sadhana will apply this new knowledge to its next dream.
Mudra shines and bright stars through